In Ecclesiastes Chapter 4, the teacher begins by observing the prevalence of oppression and suffering in the world. He sees people who are oppressed and have no one to comfort them, and he notes the power of their oppressors. This grim observation leads him to express sorrow over the suffering of the oppressed and even to say that those who have already died are better off than the living, as they are free from this sorrow. The teacher's reflection reveals his deep empathy for the pain in the world and highlights his frustration over the seeming lack of justice. The teacher then discusses the futility of labor motivated solely by envy and rivalry. He observes that many people work hard to keep up with others or to gain status, but such efforts ultimately leave them empty and dissatisfied. He compares this pursuit to chasing after the wind and suggests that it is better to have a handful with tranquility than two handfuls with toil and chasing after the wind. Through this, the teacher emphasizes that striving solely for personal gain and status leads to weariness and a lack of inner peace. He goes on to consider the loneliness and isolation that can result from single-minded ambition. The teacher describes a person who works tirelessly but has no companion, family, or friend to share his success with, realizing that all his efforts are ultimately meaningless without companionship. This leads him to highlight the value of friendship and partnership, explaining that two are better than one because they can help and support each other. He emphasizes that companionship provides warmth, strength, and resilience in life's difficulties, suggesting that relationships bring more satisfaction than solitary pursuits. The chapter concludes with a reflection on the vanity of political power and popularity. The teacher observes that a poor but wise youth may rise to power, while an old and foolish king may lose his influence. However, he notes that even the popularity of a wise leader can fade, as future generations may not appreciate or remember him. This reinforces the teacher's theme of the fleeting nature of status and influence, as the pursuit of power and popularity ultimately proves to be temporary and unsatisfying. Overall, Ecclesiastes Chapter 4 explores themes of oppression, the emptiness of envy-driven labor, the importance of companionship, and the transient nature of power, underscoring the futility of worldly pursuits without deeper meaning and relationships. Let's now read Ecclesiastes Chapter 4. So I returned, and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun. And behold the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Wherefore I praise the dead which are already dead more than the living which are yet alive. Yea, better is he than both they, which hath not yet been, who hath not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. Again, I considered all travail, and every right work, that for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. The fool foldeth his hands together, and eateth his own flesh. Better is an handful with quietness, than both the hands full with travail and vexation of spirit. Then I returned, and I saw vanity under the sun. There is one alone, and there is not a second, yea, he hath neither child nor brother, yet is there no end of all his labor, neither is his eye satisfied with riches, neither saith he, for whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good? This is also vanity, yea, it is a sore travail. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat, but how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. For out of prison he cometh to reign, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. I considered all the living which walk under the sun, with the second child that shall stand up in his stead. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them, they also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. This ends our reading of Ecclesiastes chapter 4.